For the first time in more than 5.5 years, we finally tonight have a few new answers to a question that has loomed over Indiana and over the town of Delphi. Who killed Abby Williams and Libby German?
From the end of the bridge to, you got to go through. Now, I believe that the bodies were found about 50.
Born from a family's grief and determination. In April of 2020, Army soldier Vanessa Guillen went missing while stationed at one of the largest military installations.
That little music in the background that goes, "Don't be suspicious, don't be suspicious."
Right.
Knew about it or was there. He's as guilty as the person who committed it.
Chilling details in the arrest of a suspected serial killer caught before he could strike again.
Him, they dropped the ball, man. Like they said, he went AWOL, and that he was a deserter, and nobody went to look for him.
Today is not a day to celebrate. But the arrest of Richard M. Allen of Delphi on 2 counts of murder.
Like I said, we're going back. We were asked last time to kind of talk about the food, the grub truck video, and kind of give our perspective of it. The press release from the police department, it indicated that they're still trying to put pieces together from that night. Does that worry you at any point or at any bit that they're still trying to put those pieces together?
It's been over 5 weeks since little Kaylee Anthony vanished. Her mother, Casey, has been arrested for lying to police. She's being held without bail.
Hey, greetings from the year 3000. It still sucks. This is Philip J. Fry, and you're listening to The Drunken Turkey Show, your one-stop for this sort of thing. Hit that button, like and subscribe. You know what to do, just like every other podcast.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to The Drunk Turkey Show. Welcome to the Mystery Show, where we're talking today about the Idaho 4, and we're talking a little bit of true crime. Alongside with me, as always, I'm G and Big Blue. First and foremost, guys, hope you guys had a Merry Christmas. This goes out to everybody in the live chat. Merry Christmas, Jaime, Blue. How was y'all's Christmas? How are y'all doing today? We'll start off with you, Jaime.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Hope you had a good one too, man. I had a great Christmas. I spent it with my kids and my parents. It was fun. We ate a lot, like always.
Man, that's one of the must-haves in a Christmas down south.
Yeah, exactly, man. Especially your Mexicanos, man. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Tamales and all that stuff. All day, every day.
Dude, my grandma gave me some tamales, and I haven't eaten them up yet, dude. I think I might after the show. Big Blue, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. Feliz Navidad, brothers. Feliz Navidad.
Feliz Navidad.
For those out there that celebrate Hanukkah, Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah for sure.
Yeah, man. No, like Jaime said, it was a lot of food. I one day I went for a walk today. That's how bad I felt. You know what I mean? Like I ate three different types of turkeys, and I ate tripitas, and I ate 4 different types of tamales from 4 different people. So yeah, it was a pretty. My stomach's hating me right now, but yeah, you gotta love it, man. I love food.
You know it, man. You know, me and the wife went out to one of her family's houses, and we had the ham, the stuff, and the whole 9 yards. It was just a turkey away from Thanksgiving, and so it was a good one. We enjoyed it. Whoa, we already got a super chat. But thank you, Roy. Roy says, "What's up, guys? Listening from Liverpool. Great work.
Wow,
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for the super chat. Thank you." We have a super sticker as well. Thank you, J Jam. Appreciate that. Thank you all so much. So, so what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be going. There's a lot of information that we've gathered here recently in the last 6 weeks since this has happened. We're going to go back and look at the crime scene. We're going to look at some video footage and kind of break down some things now that we know certain information, right? Like now that we know who potentially lives near the residence, we can look in that direction. Yeah. We know some of the issues that have gone down. I mean, kind of think about it when we're asked to look at the grub truck video. We looked at that one. We found some, we had the information about the question of who was Adam. We had answered that. We knew they were coming from the corner bar, and we had that video. And we were able to kind of pick that up and see that she was on her phone the entire time there. And so maybe perhaps there's something for us to look at here. We're going to be on here for about an hour, and at the last 10 minutes, we're going to be trying to answer your questions in the live chat. If there's a question at any point that you guys want us to answer, send it in as a super chat, and we'll definitely answer it. If not, send it in at the last 10 minutes, and we'll answer them as we go through it. There's quite a few questions in it, and so our questions in the live chat, so we'll get to them as we can. So guys, there's a few things that we know. We've looked at this case and from the beginning, and first thing I wanted to bring up was the footage here from the drone footage. Now I believe this was day one. Now, I was looking at this again, and I noticed something interesting. And you guys tell me if you see it. I think I already see it. Do you guys notice anything in this image that kind of pops out?
Hold on, let me put a full screen.
You know what? I'll help you guys. And I'll play it a little bit, and you'll be able to see it a little bit clearer. All right now.
Oh, man. I wouldn't be able to. The ladder?
No. Look over here. This is the house where Adam and Jack used to live in, or potentially still do. Look at this snow. How it's drifted here in the middle, and it's cleaned up. It was speculated that potentially either Jack or Adam that stayed up here. We've seen some people up on this roof. Yeah. If he slid down, and also notice that white vehicle that was usually parked in the driveway is not there. Yeah. It would probably behoove of him to jump down here, but if somebody slid down here recently.
I remember seeing the couch up there too at one point.
Yeah. Just something I had noticed right off the bat when I was coming back at this. I was like, I never looked at this house before. There wasn't a reason to look at that house, right? Yeah. And so we didn't know who lived there. We didn't know any of those things. And so now that we have an idea of who may live there, going back and looking at this and seeing a possibility where it looks like, there's definitely some debris as if something slid down this this roof here. Kind of seemed a little bit odd there, in my opinion. And so
yeah, I'm trying to see if the neighbor has like floodlights with cameras or anything, but it's hard to tell on that second roof right there.
I don't believe they have any on here, but I've seen an image where they have one in the front of the house. And you see a fence here, you see a fence there.
Oh, yeah, that ladder's definitely there, right?
Yeah, that ladder's there. This is up against the wall.
You can see it over here.
Yeah.
Is it CSI, right?
Right, that's the forensic team. I have this sped up, so if it looks like they're moving at 1,000,000 miles an hour, that's why.
So, those are some strong ladies.
These guys are the forensic team. They're taking pictures, right? Now, I suspect that this is day one for a couple of reasons. One, they're the forensic team. I've seen some pictures of them. Also, there's I can't see it from this angle, but I'm trying to pick it up. But in a different angle, you'll see there's a lot of police presence at the street, right, blocking it out. And at this point, in my opinion, I don't think they've even removed the victims out of the house, right? They're going to need to take pictures all the way through. And so, with that being said, nothing in this house should be disturbed. Everything should be as they found it. Wait a minute. I just saw something that is a little bit frustrating to me. I mean, I understand, it's a sad moment. It's a sad situation.
Maybe she'll put on the booty
but
closer to the house.
You see this? I just noticed this. They're allowing people to get this close to this house that soon. That should not be happening.
Yeah, no.
That should not be happening. Like, I understand the situation, and I understand there's people that are sad about this, but they should not be allowed to have people get that close to this crime scene. The fact that you have this many cars here, 4 vehicles that clearly aren't, part of this situation or the scene, are parked on the park, in this parking area, is also something, in my opinion, that shouldn't be happening. Like, this is a scene.
Yeah.
There's nothing saying which way that this guy took off, whether he ran out the front door, and if he did, and he was bleeding because he cut himself or whatever the case may have been, or sweating, things of that nature, and he ran this direction. He ran from the front door out that direction, or he had a car parked here or there or there. That's all contaminated now.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because they said the front door was open, right? Somebody noticed to open at like around 8 o'clock.
Correct. Somebody noticed that the door was open at 8 o'clock.
I'm guessing if the person who did this, I don't think they will park in that specific area. I think they will park closer to the street so they can just have a straight shot out instead of backing up, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think
That
so.
would be logic, but
Mhm.
this guy could be very, upset, and so he may just pull straight in, not thinking about backing up or any of
Mhm.
those things. But regardless of the fact, you have, like, look, you have your police officer right here in the corner. Let me pull that out real fast, the banners, so we can see that. You have a police officer right here. He's manning this intersection. There's another one over here. They're not allowing anything, and yet you have flowers. You have a little
I want to
ceremony
say this
already
is
there.
like the second day probably.
It
I want
can't
to
be,
say
man. This is the forensic team that's arriving.
yeah, but it's. Well, I mean, it could be when sun's going down.
It is, yeah. You can. The sun is setting over here.
Yeah.
This is the west side. Um, this house faces north, and so this would be west. This is the sun setting. This is a November day, so it's probably around 4 in the afternoon, 5 in the afternoon,
Yeah.
local time. They were called out at noon, so this is about 4 hours after the call to the scene. So
Yeah, and it's hard to tell the flowers are for the victims, which it probably are, or maybe it was the flowers left over for the girl that committed suicide. There's a teddy bear
uh,
there already.
that was like years ago. I think that was like
Oh, okay.
earlier. I mean, not years ago, but like earlier in the year. That was a while back. I
It still looks
mean,
pretty green, so it looks fresh.
right there it is. So, all right, let's forward out. Let's go back. So, yeah, I just don't like how they're parked on the scene. They're disturbing. I mean, you can see imprints on the ground right there, footprints of the officers, of the investigators. This is not the best quality of work, but because of the terrain that they're on, you can see a bunch of stuff that they're just trampling over with.
Yeah, because normally they would wear those blue booties over their shoes so they won't be like causing any more damage to the crime scene inside the house. So maybe they put them on when they get closer to the house. But
Yeah. That,
And
and it doesn't help that a lot of other people were in there that's around the same time,
no,
contaminating the crime scene.
no, for sure, 100%. See, you have the officer presence. They're not allowing anybody to come out this direction, and so you have a fence here. Looks like that part is open, and so somebody could run if they were coming in from that other side across. Let's see. And as it pans over the roof here, it's going to show how clean that area is. And as far as where the glove was located, it is supposed to be. I think somebody asked about a glove. It's supposed to be somewhere around here by the trash bins is where they found it. Which, if you see, they have this secured right here in this area. They put the security tape around, and they didn't see a possible glove there, that's also a little concerning. And so get a good glimpse of the area. See, this is a house right here that has a ring. No, it's this house that has a ring camera, I believe. Up in the front.
Is that the one that caught the white car?
It's possible. I mean, I'm not sure. They haven't put out there who has, but if there was a white car seen in this area, it would be from this one, because I think it was Plunder who put out a video that there was a some kind of break-in of a vehicle earlier in the year, and they had asked about the surveillance of the surrounding area, and at that point they had stated that there wasn't any and that they just bought a ring camera, and so it was right here at this residence. And so if the perp came around the side here, you wouldn't be able to, it wouldn't be caught. But if he drove up, he would be. Where
did Inan supposedly live?
He lived in the red apartments across this side, on this side of the highway. The street, I'm sorry.
Never trusted stick juggler.
So let's go out to the side of this.
Is this a police drone, right? It's not just a news. It's not a news drone, is it?
No, it's not a news drone. No, it's not. Not at all. Here, I had noticed on this video that this area did look so much more cleaner. And we're going to go over possible entry points because I find it hard. Well, I found some images from the crime scene, and we're going to be going over them. And it looks it's difficult to determine or to think that there was another possible option. See, right here, it's super clean. Right there, it's very clean. So there's that fence. This guy doesn't know how to use his camera. Apologize for everybody getting dizzy.
That was like us, remember? When you had drones.
Oh, yeah. All right, so right here, it's going to zoom in, and you can see already that there are the stools in the right here. And you can see a stool in the background. Now, you can see actually a few of them. There's some there and there's some right there. Now, why this is important is if the person, the person couldn't enter or exit if that stool was already there. Now, the police aren't going to secure this door with this stool. Basically, main reason, if this was the exit or entry point, this guy's sweating or bleeding or anything like that, and he's running out, hair falling off of him, it could have landed on this stool. And if the police secured the building with the stool, then they just compromised that evidence. What I would have done is taken all of the stools in to go get checked for DNA and things of that nature, and they would have been bagged and tagged. I'm a little bit concerned when I saw, I'm not sure if it's still accurate or not, but I saw them pull out 170 something pieces of evidence. That's not enough. That is nowhere near enough. Everything in every one of those rooms and in every room that you suspect that somebody may have entered or exit needs to be picked up, bagged, and tagged 100% of the time. And so to use that evidence, possible evidence, as to secure this door.
In this picture, you can see the screen on the floor like we saw in the other photo the other day.
Right, but that screen has been on the floor. We saw that on the
body cam footage when they
body cam footage. Yeah, when they went over there.
Yeah.
In August, the screen was already on the ground.
Maybe it was a way for them to sneak out without.
And here's the other thing. Check these lights on. Those lights are all on, and they are plugged in right there. If you're going to come in and out through here, you're going to sneak around. Don't you think you'd unplug the lights?
Could be. You could.
And the plug in right there, you have your lights here. I have pictures of this area at night with the lights plugged in. It brightens it up pretty good. It's not one of those very non-lit lights. And all he had to do was unplug it.
Yeah.
Those things are what don't make sense to me on this.
Yeah, yeah.
Are blocking the door. The stools. They
Yeah,
must
the
have
stools
gone
are.
out the front door. If the cop didn't place him there, he must have gone out the front door.
Now, if the cop didn't place him there, now there's there's a possibility that that the surviving roommates woke up, noticed that the stools weren't there, and put them there before they called their friends or called people to their house. Right? There's that possibility.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure I see that as being a possibility. Now, this is zoomed in on this part on these bricks, and they look to be wet.
Yeah, they look like footprints.
Mm-hmm. And then it zooms in on this substance, and I have a picture of this much closer one that we're going to be able to go into, and we'll be able to look at that. Now, these lights here aren't the lights that I see somebody said the neighbor said no lights worked. That was the big spotlights like on this telephone pole thing. I'm talking about these lights here. These lights are string lights that do work.
Yeah.
So there's some footprints out here in the snow, but that could be the police. I'm not sure. You know, if they were walking out there or not, but that could be the police. What do y'all think about this window here? You think that could be a possible entry point, or do you think that's a little too high from the ground?
That's a little too high, I believe. If anything, he would have probably used the ladder for that one. I don't think I could get to there.
And then I think if it goes into like the kitchen sink area, it should be loud.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those stools being there, man. Like, if the cops place them there, then they're a really crappy way to secure a door from opening. You know what I mean? But if maybe the surviving victims placed it there the night before, because maybe the lock wasn't working, and they would maybe they put those there like every night before they go to bed. Maybe that could be a reason too.
Right. That's possible. It's possible. The thing is, like, it's suspected that this happened between 3 and 6. I would assume, everybody had already arrived at home that was there staying at the house that night. I would assume that they would have probably secured this room, before they went to bed. They had lunch. We got some pictures, apparently, of inside. I think Xana had gone to Jack in the Box at one point. There's evidence of that on the kitchen table, things of that nature. And we'll talk about it as we go through. These are some investigators as they're walking in, putting on those booties.
Yeah.
Sitting on the car, probably not the best bet. If the guy ran out the front door, like, I wouldn't be touching anything. Like, that's just me. This is some other guys pulling in and out. This is Maddie's vehicle. I believe this is Xana's because this one has an Arizona license plate. This one was brand new, doesn't even have plates on it. These are some officers that are securing the area down the street. Okay, so we have this is, I believe, at the neighbor's house in the street across the way. So this is the forensic team. This is the truck they were in earlier. You can see their shirt. They are the forensic team. This is the truck that they were getting their cameras out of. Right here is where you see that red substance. That's coming out the back. You can kind of see. All right, so there's that window I had spoken to you guys about. It's probably up around this area as far as height goes. This window here.
Yeah.
See, in this image, and I don't know when this image was taken, if this was how long after. Yeah, you have stools moved. Yeah, the bar stools aren't there. This stool's all moved to the side, and I don't see the one that was back there that we had seen in that other image. They have
the tape, though, right?
Yeah, they have the red tape there, and they had the red tape there already.
Yeah.
Here's a guy. I don't know what that is. I saw that. That could just be dirt.
Is he wearing anything on his boots?
No.
Nice.
Yeah. Good spot on that. And this is not going to help this case, things like that.
Is that trash already out there?
Yeah, I
Okay.
don't remember seeing that there.
Yeah, there was a few bags thrown on the side. You can see
Oh,
them.
Yeah.
They were just trying to feed the local raccoons.
Yeah. Let's see. This is an image from inside. So this is one of the windows from the second floor going into the kitchen, right? You can see the dining room table in the back. You can see a bunch of stuff up there. One thing that I noticed is look right here in the door frame. If somebody climbed in through there, do you think those items would still be there?
What was that?
Yeah, if
These
he
are-
was there, he would have knocked them down, man.
Or would have taken, opened the window, taken them out, put them in the ground here, right? Not put them inside because you're outside, right? So if you're outside of this window, you open it, you don't want to make a lot of noise and alert somebody. So you're going to pull those items out of the house and put them on the ground. Now, once you make entry into the building, you're not then going to turn around and grab those items from the ground and then pull them back in, right? That doesn't make any sense.
No.
That makes zero sense to me. So this is not an entry point, in my opinion.
No. Plus, there was a plant in front of that, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was a plant.
Yeah.
This is another view. There wasn't a party that night, right? So there was a lot of witnesses that came forward, and this is something else that we didn't know about at that point. There's a lot of witnesses that came forward saying that it was oddly quiet. There wasn't any noise. Yet they have a beer pong table set up. So perhaps this was the pre-party before they headed out. Perhaps this was the day before on Friday night. I've seen TikToks from inside this residence and pictures. These girls look like they kept up. I find it hard to believe that they left a mess there based on, their pictures, their images, their TikToks of, how they live their personal life. So this probably was that day, maybe just earlier.
Hey, Blue, what kind of alcohol was that?
I don't know, man. I wanted to look at it closer. I was like, man, it looked like a Bud Light Lime, but
Could be Bud Light Lime, could be a Smirnoff Apple.
yeah, it looks like it could be a Smirnoff.
Apparently at one of the celebrations where Hunter came out, he stated that Ethan loved to drink Bud Light Lime, and that he would ask him to get him that because Ethan was under the age.
Yeah.
He was very distraught at that. His friend in this entire situation was Ethan. I know he came out with Kaylee, but his girlfriend lived at this house at one point. They're all friends together. I think he just came out because he was over the age and wanted to protect his girlfriend's friend. I don't think that Hunter had anything to do with it. Although I will say this, at that celebration, he made the statement that he used to play basketball a lot with Ethan. Adam plays a lot of basketball.
Everybody's saying it's a Corona bottle. It's not a Corona bottle. Corona is white, blue, and yellow.
Yeah, it looks like a green tag, right?
Yeah, that's green. I don't know if that's a Smirnoff or a Bud Light Lime. Those are one of the two.
I was going to ask you, what was Ethan's physique? Like, how tall was he?
He looked to be pretty tall. I don't have his stats or whatnot, but he looked to be well over 6 foot, probably about 6'1" to 6'3". Pretty stout. He looked athletic. That was one of the things that Hunter as well said about him, that he was an athletic guy, played a lot of sports.
So he's a lot bigger than Jack D, right?
Jack D's not a small guy. That's a misconception. He's about 6'1", 6'2", and he used to be a little bit scrawny in his older pictures, but the newer pictures that you see with him and Maddie's dog, not Maddie's dog, Kaylee's dog, the dog they shared together, Murphy.
Yeah.
He doesn't look like a scrawny guy anymore, by any means.
Yes, the pics I see, he's a little bit thinner.
Yeah. Now, see, this is what they should have done from the get-go. go in there like this to get as much DNA and not contaminate the scene as much as possible. And so you see these lights are still working. This is how bright those lights light up that area at night.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? That's not dim. That's a pretty good brightness for this area. And if everything's dark inside, like let's just say they have the lights off, you have these lights on the outside, it's going to make it that much harder to look in. You're going to get the reflection of yourself, reflection of the lights coming back out. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It makes sense. And so these lights it's not a low lit area, and they were plugged in when the officers arrived there.
You know what? Like crazy theories about northern houses like that. I mean, a lot of newer houses here too in the States, but I lived in older houses my whole life. I've always lived in houses that have bars on the windows.
That could be a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah.
Keep you from getting robbed or keep you from getting out in case of a fire.
No, mine are the new ones that have the magnetic locks. You just press a button and it locks.
Fancy.
Yes, sir.
And so here are just a couple of images of the CSI team going in there, making sure that they don't, cough, breathe. This is basically them trying to gather DNA evidence, touch DNA, anything that they can find. Right. And so, again, this is just how well lit up it is. And you see here, look up here, you see that good times. There's the bed. That's kind of creepy. That's the bed.
Yeah.
But I think this might be Kaylee's bed, which means they weren't in there.
They weren't in there, right? That's why it's so.
Yeah, they weren't in there. Yeah, that's why it's so clean. All right.
I want to say thank you to R.C. Bateman for the $40.99 super chat.
Oh.
Thank you so much. Let's pull this up.
Then we had to check something out.
Check the background of Jonathan Lee Richards investigate YouTube or not.
Oh yeah, we saw that.
Yeah, that doesn't change, some of the things that he's doing now. I mean, you got to take what he says with a grain of salt because of that. But at the same time, some of the videos that we've used have had some good benefit. It's got some good evidence in there. And so this is just a quick video on, you see, there's that good times background in the green.
Yeah.
Why are they in Kaylee's room trying to gather? And you see that? Oh, snap. I went the wrong way. It looks like, now they also could be in that second bedroom loft, and they have that good time sign there.
Yeah.
But that good time sign looked like it was in Kaylee's room. If this is Kaylee's room and nothing happened in there.
Yeah, why would it be in there, right?
Maybe there's this. Maybe this is why they think it was targeted and she was the target, because something was disturbed or taken in her room.
Do you notice that how easily is this the person that's taking this video can see inside this house and stalk the forensic team? Imagine how easy it is for a stalker to stalk the actual people that live there, man. Put curtains on your houses, people. Put curtains.
Yeah, that you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is a clear image of that second window that we were looking at earlier, where I was saying, look at the items in the right here. This will kind of give us an idea of what's going on inside. This is a mess, man.
Well, it's a party house. Maybe they had a party, like you said.
Nah, yeah, but I mean, you have a strainer. You have probably they made spaghetti, I'm guessing. You have the strainer. You have the spaghetti, what looks like the spaghetti spatula. You have an old cup, several cups. Yeah,
Frappuccino
boxes. Yeah, it's pretty messy. Now this is another room that's also along the side, right? And the reason you can tell it's different is you see a door here, you see a bigger shelf up going upward, and here you see the edge of the shelf, right? So this is two different windows, and you still see right here some items in the window frame. Items that if this person made entry through this area, they shouldn't be there. So this is the second window on the same floor. You can still, this is the dining room, but you can see that the background looks different. It could be that they cleaned up, but you have some of these, you have this in the background. And maybe it is the same image. Just light up. But look at this right here. This is what I had noticed also, and this is what I wanted to bring up. This is your sink. You have a pot. You have some dirt.
Yeah. Knocked over.
Knocked over. Exactly. Exactly. You have the Jack in the Box with Xana's name on it. Another cup with some older material in there.
Or frappuccinos.
This is by the sink, right?
Yeah, this is by the sink. You can see though, there is a there's a bowl and a plate here at the edge of the sink. That's a weird place to leave that there, like over the edge here.
Mm-hmm.
That looks weird to me. And this is the area that it's at. So, that the pot here with the dirt, with the food, and then you have your plate with your bowl right here.
Yeah, well, it's not right under the sink, right? Oh, it's right next to it. Okay,
it's right next to the sink. So perhaps somebody entered through here. But this is
that's a side window.
Yeah, that's that side window. That's a hell of a jump. Let's go back and look at that. And that's why I was asking you guys, like, do you guys think that would be plausible with, and it'd have to be a fairly tall or athletic person, in my opinion.
To me, I think it was the plant looked like it was on the windowsill on the other photo when the drone was taking the video. So maybe one of the investigators knocked it down when they were moving it.
If that's the case, that's pretty bad, man. You're knocking down potential evidence. Not just saying that pot would have been evidence, but if he's not taking care of the crime scene, like by dropping stuff around, knocking things around. But I don't know. Maybe it could have just been like, with the party or whatever, where people just rummaging into stuff.
Yeah, but it's possible. It could have been just dropped. But I mean, this is a high jumping area. I didn't see that being the possible entry point.
Yeah, there's better entries than that one.
That back window where the screen's pulled out, it's an easy entry point.
Mm-hmm. And it kind of limits the area. We looked at that front area where the ladder is and how that is going up against that the ledge there, and how that just kind of looks out of place to us. Like there's no purpose in doing that. Like if you're going to get on that ledge, just go from the second floor window.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And so if all these rooms or all these windows were secure except for that one, then that would explain why Xana and Ethan were also attacked in this situation.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Potential witnesses.
Mm-hmm. And so, basically, in my opinion, it's looking more and more like that window could be the spot. Now, the other thing I wanted to bring up to you guys, let me add this here. We're gonna have to mute ourselves. This was sent to me, and it's been cleared up, that beginning point, and just wanted to get y'all's opinion on what you think it says. So do you all hear what that says? Does it sound like it says you're going to ditch those guys and go inside?
No, it sounds like it says, "Did you just dish those guys that were inside?"
That's what I
That's
hear.
what I thought. That's what I heard too. That's good ear. That's good ear. Yeah. And I don't think that's a part of anything. I think those girls were out there, having a good time, drinking a couple of brewskis, some adult beverages with some folks. It was reported that they had a lot of attention at that time, and that it's possible that they weren't purchasing majority of their drinks. Let's be real; they were probably bought them. There, a lot of guys probably bought them some drinks that night, and they just left. They didn't have to pay for anything. They didn't have anything coming on their card, and so they could go.
Like I go drinking with a few friends, and some of them are pretty good looking. And guys buy them drinks all the time, bro, just to talk to them. And sometimes they'll buy the whole table around just to talk to that one girl. I'll take the free shot anytime.
Yeah, for sure.
You pimp yourself out.
Yeah, nobody's tried to dom me yet, so I've been pretty lucky.
There you go, man. Let's see. I see a lot of people talking about Jack being cleared. I want to bring this up. This is the press release, the most recent one that has the information in it. Let's go to the okay. At this time, it's big statement right there. That means at this time right now, not potentially in the future. That doesn't mean later on. That doesn't mean if evidence comes out pointing in one direction or another. That just means at the present time in the investigation, detectives do not believe. This does not say clear. This does not say is not involved in they're clear. They're not definitely. It's not believed to be involved in this crime. So all this is saying, and this is a little bit of rumor control, so to speak, and a little bit of maybe try to ease somebody, so to speak. We read the New York Post, where Miss Miller, Jack D's aunt, he came forward and spoke about his condition currently, how sad he is, and everything else that's going on in his life. And in that conversation, they put out there that he was at one point a person of interest. And it's said by authorities. That's not our words. We didn't say that. That was on the news. You want to go watch that? Check it out. We talked about it yesterday. It's got 76,000 views already. That's on that news report. And so just in this sentence right alone, this tells me that this doesn't tell me anything.
Yeah. I mean,
to be honest with you.
What that sentence tells me is that they can always go back and interview all these people again, and then they can find something that's has might be not adding up. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean to me. It doesn't mean that they're cleared. It just means they can at that time in the investigation. It doesn't seem like they have anything more to add to it. You know what I mean? That they can always go back.
Right, exactly. And it also just means that they're taking whatever information that they have been given, referencing their alibi, for what it's worth, right? Now, if something comes up and it's not that's the case, then they're going to change it. And I believe somebody put on here, I believe Adam is cleared. That is not true. That is not true. In fact, the only thing about Adam is another video is believed to have been taken the night of the incident at a local downtown business. It is known to investigators. Investigators have identified an individual called Adam in the video, and he is cooperating with detectives. Now, that's a big statement, too, because if they knew about this video the second night out, why is, they're still investigating this, in my opinion. Because he is cooperating. Right.
Yeah.
And not had cooperated and cleared, things of that nature. So is cooperating means that whatever information he has is probably extremely relevant in this case. And when you look at how close, and when we brought it up several times, the girls left the Grubhub they left the corner club. I believe it was around 1:30 in the morning. All right. From the time that it took them to walk 203 steps to get to where they were in front of the surveillance footage, where Kaylee is saying, "Maddie, what did you tell Adam?"
Yeah.
Whatever information Maddie told Adam got back to Kaylee relatively fast. Now you're also looking at delays from the time that this person is sending the text message to receiving and then replying. There's a delay. Those text messages aren't immediate. It's not boom, boom. I send a text message. You're getting it right this second.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially if you're using a different, like if you're not using just a regular messaging through your phone, if you're using through like Snapchat or WhatsApp, sometimes when you go from your own Wi-Fi and you leave that Wi-Fi radius, it takes forever to like play a video.
Yeah.
So
you're right.
It takes a little bit of time to go back into your 5G or whatever. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It could be the case. That's why some of those messages don't get there. They don't get sent as fast as they should.
Yeah, and if let's look this video up, because the video I have, so here's my opinion. All right. I'm gonna try to find this video not interrupted really quick. You see this white truck right there? That white truck was parking, right?
Mm-hmm.
That truck was parking a good distance away. Let's pull the map up real quick. Okay. That truck was parking over here. Mm-hmm. I believe this is the only bar in the area, right? Mm-hmm. And so if they were parking right here at this time of night, one would assume they were going to a facility that was open. And if they're parking at this part of at this distance away and not in the parking lot here, that leads me to believe that this place is busy. It's a Saturday night. It's more than likely what's happening. It's a college town. It's going to be busy.
Yeah.
This guy here, Adam, is a bartender here, and yet it doesn't matter how busy it is at 1:30 in the morning, which I'm assuming is one of the busiest times, because not only do you have people asking for drinks, but you have people who are wanting to leave and pay out their tabs. And yet he has the opportunity to message somebody something that was so important that it happened the moment that they left that bar.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a little bit of context that needs to go with that. You know what I mean? It's not just the fact that he messaged them something or he messaged somebody something. Whatever it was important enough for him to stop working at probably one of the most busiest times of the week, Saturday night, 1:30 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And it got out to whoever by the time that these girls made it to this area right here, 200 feet away.
To where the footage right was at? Yeah.
That tells me that whatever that information is, it's pretty important. And then when you look at the food truck video at, just 5 minutes later as they walk down,
mm-hmm.
Kaylee's on her phone the entire time.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it's probably having to do with the information that Adam got. We have a $4.99 super chat. Let's see what RC Bateman says.
Thank you.
It is confirmed by local law enforcement the girls made those last texts to Jack, or could it be covering his or her tracks? So, basically, do you think that perhaps maybe if the person, is it possible that the actor in this situation could have been sending himself text messages from those girls' phones? Probably, it's highly possible. I mean, he's in there. He's probably got their phones, right? Those things are usually activated by either face or thumbprint. Mm-hmm. He has access to both of them in that situation. So this person could access their phone and send some information out. I would have taken that phone if they were still there. There's nothing saying that their phones aren't there, but there ain't anything saying that they were. I would have recovered them and went through it. Absolutely everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
If the suspect did that and sent himself either made a call, text, with the amount of blood, I think those whichever phone he used, whatever it would have been covered in blood.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. There's a good possibility of that.
Not only that, but the adrenaline going through him.
Man, I think I don't think the killer would want to take the time to be sending text messages. I mean, he just killed 4 people, and he wants to get out of there, man. That's my theory.
Yeah,
and that's a possibility. I mean, you look at the fact and you hear the rumors that the front door was left wide open. I mean, that's going to spark that's going to spark attention. In my opinion, if you're wanting to get out of there and not leave attention to the scene, I mean, it's possible. In my opinion, he locked the doors behind him, right? And if he did that, he was trying to delay the discovery of the victims.
Yeah.
You know, if he left the front door open, that leads me to believe he was in an extreme rush to get out. Now, there's some speculation out there that at 3:38 in the morning, some Ring device nearby, possibly the one that we spoke about earlier, picked up a loud scream. Now, it's rumor. I haven't seen anything be proven as true or any of those things. And so
that's what I keep thinking about that, because I have a Ring. Mine never picks up like the noise. It doesn't activate it. It's motion.
Yeah.
So something had to have been moving in front of it for it to be recording, for it to pick up that scream. So that's where I kind of think that might not be right, but I don't know. I had to see the evidence first.
Oh, what's it called? In the Ring, how close do you have to be so you can activate it?
Actually, pretty far, man. Like mine, I had to turn down the settings. You can turn down the sensitivity, because mine would pick up every car driving down the street, like at least 2 or 3 houses down. Like it would start picking up from then, and then it would turn on, and then it would just keep ringing to my phone, chirping the whole time. So I had to turn down the sensitivity quite a bit.
Yeah, because on the body footage for when they were the cops were in interview, not interviewing, but like they had those guys that were walking around in public intoxicated. Remember that they were saying that there was a scream in the background that was real faint, but I don't know. I personally can't tell if it was a scream or not. I don't know about y'all.
I heard it. It's up in the air, but that one was at 3:12 in the morning. That was like 3:12 in the morning.
I think when we were watching the video, there was it sounded like people were trying to fight, and a girl screamed to stop or something like that.
Oh, that one that said "leave me alone" or not "leave me alone," stop it, or something like that. Yeah. But that was even earlier, and I think that was closer to Taylor Avenue, because that was picked up on the body cam footage from the cop that was standing in he was standing out in the green grass area. And so, but yeah, I mean, by the time, this is crazy, guys. Like, it's actually 180 feet. It's not even 200 and something feet from the point where they got from here to here where they're videotaped. From Corner Club here. Whatever Maddie told Adam, it must have been important. So important that the police had this information 2 days after the incident, and they're still investigating that because he's cooperating with them still. Yeah,
they haven't changed that, right? They haven't changed to cooperated with the law enforcement. It still says on the police statement, it says that he's still cooperating with them. Right. Which means he's a big piece to the puzzle.
For sure, man. And like I said, it's just one of those things where it just looks, it's just odd. It's just very odd. It's and when you look at the let me see if I can pull it back up real quick. And we'll take some questions here in a second while I do this. I'm gonna have this playing on the background.
Hey, I'm gonna have to jump off, and I'll jump back in. My internet is messing up.
No problem, man. No problem. And so, one thing, and I know a lot of you guys, there's 1,700 of you guys in here. If you guys would do us a favor and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, it'd really help out the stream and help out the channel. We're trying to get our information out to as many people as possible.
Yeah. It's like Fry says at the beginning of the intro, like and subscribe. You know what to do.
For sure. And so right here, and I brought this up earlier when we were looking at this footage, that snow up here on this roof is disturbed by something sliding down off that roof very recently. It just, that was something that not many folks were looking at when this footage first came out, solely because nobody knew who lived over there. Nobody knew what importance this house could have in this case. And, another thing I noticed is there's not a soul there. There's one vehicle back there. This is a house that on body cam footage, on Google Earth, on anything that you can find, houses for sale nearby, and you can see this house in the background. It's usually filled up to the max. Now, this was also going into Thanksgiving break, so there could have been a lot of folks going home. But that white car that's normally parked out there isn't there. That snow is disturbed up there as if somebody slid down there. It's a pretty clean slide. So
I wonder if they have like surveillance footage from like the apartment complex. Most apartment complexes don't have it around the main like housing area, but they always have it by the office. So I wonder if they got that footage to see if there's any cars driving by in the middle of the night.
Yeah, maybe, man. I mean, there's a speculation and rumors that at 3:45 there's another surveillance footage from that A&W gas station that's closer of a white vehicle leaving, and there's rumors stating that that's where the initial thought or speculation of a 2011 to 13 Hyundai Elantra came through. And so what we're going to do now is for the next probably about 10 minutes or so, we're going to go through the chat. If you guys see a question you want, send them through. We got a 4.99 super sticker first and foremost coming in from Kareem Gonzalez. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Merry Christmas to everybody. I know it's happened, it was yesterday, and Happy New Year, y'all.
Thank you
we
very much.
appreciate everything.
I can't believe the year's almost over.
Yeah, man, it's been going by quick, real quick.
Yeah, exactly. And so I'm just gonna scrum through this and see if I can pick up any questions or comments.
A lot of people are looking at JD as the one, but I don't know, man. Like a lot of people are also saying that, well, in the statement that they put out was that that he was not a person of interest at the time, right?
Yeah, that's what. Well, they just said that they don't believe that they were involved at that time.
But then Steve came out and said that it's not him, or they're not. Yeah. They don't think it's him or whatever.
The family did. Steve hasn't really. I've noticed that Steve hasn't been as verbal about his, backing up of Jack D. It's been his wife, it's been the kids, his daughter, Kaylee's sister, who has, and I understand it, but kind of like what we mentioned before, they're just saying that if you knew him and you knew the type of person he was, he wouldn't do this. Well, I mean, there's a lot of people who snap for whatever reason, and thank you so much, Jen, for the super sticker. We appreciate it so much.
Thank you.
There's so much that can happen. There's so much that can happen that you just don't know a person where they'll flip that switch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And John says law enforcement has said that JD is not a suspect. They said that at the time of that press release, they don't believe he's involved. That doesn't mean he's clear. That's just stating that they're taking his word or his alibi for what it's worth.
For face value.
Yeah. Now, once that's no longer the case, then that.
I also want to thank Patty Nielsen for a $5 donation.
Appreciate that. Thank you so much. If you have a question or comment, throw it in there.
Yeah. Try to answer as many as we can.
Yeah. What's it called? When it comes down, like, you'll be surprised how many people do these kind of crimes and they're like super close to the family or even related to the family. You know what I mean?
Sometimes, denial is real, man. Sometimes you just don't want to believe. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Jane asks us, how do you think the police are progressing in this case? You know, there's one thing that they said that was a little bit interesting. They said that they don't know the whereabouts of the suspect.
Mm-hmm.
That could mean one or two things. That also could mean that they know who he is. They just don't know where he's at. It can also mean that they don't know where he's at or who he is.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, and that's the situation at this point, this is probably going to end up cold pretty soon, to be honest with you.
Yeah, there was
Go ahead, Jaime. What was that?
I said, there was also that statement that the was it Robert Laner? Was it the Neo? Yeah. Said that they don't want an arrest; they want a conviction, which kind of says it. To me, it says that they have a suspect in mind, and they want to just grab some more evidence, build a case against him that's solid, and that he won't be able to roam free anymore.
Yeah.
I want to be able to convict.
Mm-hmm.
And what were you going to say, Blue?
I've already forgot, but I'll think about it again here.
Oh, my bad, Blue. My bad.
No problem.
The cat ate my homework says she broke up with Jack 3 weeks before the incident, and that's 100% true.
Mm-hmm.
The aunt came out and spoke about it. The mom maybe wanted her daughter to get back with Jack and was pushing her.
Thank you, Jane Erie, for a super sticker. Another super sticker.
I lost the comment. Oh, there you go.
Thank you, Jane. We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
The New Year's coming up. Maybe we'll get some good news for the New Year's.
Yeah. For the families, especially, man.
Yeah, especially for those families, man. Christmas just passed, and it was not a happy day for them. Like I said yesterday, it was most likely a sad day. I remember the day. May their family members rest in peace. We are not trying to cloud chase like a lot of people put out there sometimes. We just want to know a little bit of the truth. We like true crime. We like finding out what really happened, So
Exactly. Shells B says, I'm friends with Jack S.'s aunt. She told me that law enforcement knows he absolutely is not a sus, but can't clear him or they'd have to clear everyone, so no one is really cleared. Yeah, I mean, you're cleared until you're not. You know what I'm saying? If somebody comes in with a solid alibi, they were in bed with somebody, right? And that person corroborates that alibi and says that they were with them the entire night, then you have to clear them at that point. Now, you can be suspicious and think that person might be, lying to you and look into that. But until you have that evidence, then you have to kind of not look a different avenue, but put it out there that this person is not a person of interest at that time, because you don't have the means or opportunity. And so now once that person comes forward and says, hey, there's a moment that he left for a little bit, yada, yada, yada. Yeah. And then that alibi goes down the drain, and then he's kind of looked at a different angle. What were you going to say, Blue?
Somebody earlier up in the chat that they thought one of the parents was trying to hire a private investigator. Yes, they actually are trying to hire a private investigator. I think they put a GoFundMe for $20,000, and earlier today I saw it was already past $17,000. So I'm pretty sure they surpassed the amount of money for them to be able to hire a private investigator.
Yeah,
I think it was going up quick.
Yeah, there was a lot of criticism towards the law enforcement there in Moscow. So that's probably why they're trying to get a private investigator.
Yeah. I mean, the whole private investigator stuff kind of leads me to believe that there's not that much confidence in the police department. So early in the investigation. Go ahead, Blue.
I said they work sometimes, you know what I mean? Like, who found Vanessa Guillen's body was the private investigator that volunteered to help the family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, the family.
I thought it was crew workers.
It was crew workers.
They found the actual site where they burnt the case. The private investigator found that.
Yeah,
they knew that she was in that area, but they didn't find the body until a couple of days later. The crew workers found
Yeah.
bodies.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And sometimes the police miss a lot of things. Um, Patricia Ryan says, my opinion, they wore booties, protective cloth. Probably cloth is what I think she meant. Um, Maybe. I mean, if they're wearing booties and things of that nature, in my opinion, that's going to be uh, a professional type of situation, and I think this has more to do with an anger, jealousy, or rage type of situation. You look at the manner, you look at the weapon used, it kind of all leads in that direction. Moto Man MX sends us $5. Says, "How come everyone defaults to Kaylee and Jack D? How come no one is deep diving Dylan or the other roommate?" Um, we will be deep diving into the other roommates as well. Right now, the reason behind that is you have the police saying that there was a possibility that this was targeted. You have the father coming out and saying that um, that they believe it was targeted and that you didn't have to go up to the second floor. You have you have him saying that the injuries don't match. You have the coroner coming out and saying that three or most of the victims had one lethal puncture, and that was to the chest. They had multiple wounds, but one was the lethal one. And when they use the term most in a four victim scenario, well, that means three, meaning one didn't. You had two scenarios that were relatively the same, where you had two people sleeping in the same room. And so one of the persons would have been attacked before the second person, and thus waking up that second person. And in my opinion, what it sounds like also from Steve and from reports is that Xana fought back. Well, if Kaylee was in that scenario and she fought back as well, she was still hit with more severity wounds. And so all arrows kind of point at the direction of Kaylee being the target. The first person that you look at when somebody's a target that way is who was romantically involved. And you have somebody who was broken up 3 weeks earlier, somebody that their aunt described um, as a person that they thought they were going to spend the rest of their lives with, could be detrimental to the life that they pictured in their mind as far as what they envisioned for their future. And when somebody has that happen to them, it can be devastating to the point where somebody does something they shouldn't have, especially if there's alcohol or narcotics involved. Not saying that any of those things are in this situation, but given the time of night that this happened and things of that nature, I would assume that alcohol may have been involved. Good question, and thank you for the super chat. Go ahead, Jaime.
When it comes down with Bethany and Dylan, what I found weird was also like the body cam footage of the noise complaint, when supposedly one of the guys said that they went through all the rooms and nobody was in the house that was part of the lease. But yeah, when it comes down when the day of the crime, like they were there and their rooms were locked. But yet when they're throwing a party with people that don't even know, they don't lock their rooms, and yet on that day of the crime, they locked their rooms. You know what I mean? That's kind of weird. I kind of have a feeling that maybe, like maybe they had trouble with someone, maybe, and they confused the girls upstairs, maybe.
I mean, there's a possibility of that. I just, the father said that the entry point from the police told him, which he said that their line of damage doesn't make sense either. Right? But he said that from them, it was the second bedroom. And so, the second floor. You don't have to go to the third floor.
Yeah.
If your target's on the second floor and you entered and exited the second floor. And so there's just a lot of things that are kind of leading in that direction. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be taking off here shortly, guys. In just a second. I just want to let everybody know. Thank you for being on. Thank you for all the subs and the likes. Thank you for all the donations. Everybody, hope y'all had a good Christmas, good Hanukkah. Even if you celebrate Kwanzaa, happy Kwanzaa. Just want to let everybody know, it's a sad story, and we'll find out more later. But y'all take care. don't want to point any fingers at nobody, because then sometimes people get accused and people get threatened for people saying that it's them on the internet. So just keep your mind open, and hopefully the police can do their job and find the right person.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, thank you, Blue. We appreciate you coming on. We're gonna stick around probably for another 5
Have a
minutes.
good night.
Later, man. Take care.
Be out there. Be safe, bro. And so, and I know there's a lot of questions about Enan Harsh as well. He's a guy that also came off very suspicious. He's a guy that lived close. Like Blue mentioned before, when the reporters and those images that we got from inside the house that we were looking at earlier, it was very easy for those reporters and those pictures to be taken. It could have been just as easy from somebody on that side of the street, which would have been where Enan's house is. Could have been stalking for a certain amount of time. I just feel that, I think he's just clout chasing, and he's trying to make a name for himself.
Yeah, I think he's building his channel. He's building his what is he cooking too? He's also cook.
Yeah, he's a cook, and he's doing all sorts of things. He's got a TikTok, things of that nature. And so, but as far as assuming that it's one person or not, assuming that it's JD or anyone, what we're doing is just following the evidence and what we know as to be characteristics of what most people would do, as far as like you have a situation where you have somebody who's upset because they just got broken up with 3 weeks earlier. I mean, that's a pretty big clue, in my opinion. It wasn't 3 months. It wasn't, 6 months, things of that nature. It was pretty fresh. Whatever, that's a fresh breakup. And, some people just can't handle certain things. And that doesn't mean that he went out and did anything. We're not accusing him of anything. Everybody's presumed innocent, 100%. And everything that we're saying is allegedly. Except for what is not, as far as what we see documented that we can pull out video wise and things of that nature.
Statements.
Yeah. And, she was planning on moving. The aunt said that Kaylee broke it off with him because, the separation was inevitable, basically because she was leaving. We found her post on, she was moving to the Texas area towards Austin. We found her Facebook post where she said that she was looking for a roommate, and then she was only looking for one for about 6 months next year. And so that leads me to believe that maybe perhaps there was a little bit more to this breakup than just the fact that she was moving. You know what I'm saying?
There had to be more meat on that bone.
Because I don't think you break up with somebody after a 5-year relationship because you're going to be, let's just stay stationed or TDY or whatever you want to call it, out on work for 6 months in one location. And especially if, you've been together for 5 years, you anticipate that there could be a marriage there. Maybe perhaps he goes with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, the breakup, that just because of the 6-month move, that tells me there might be a little bit more to that. That might tell me there's a little bit more to that. And that might be what he's telling his family. Oh, she broke up with me because she was moving. And that could be something that she's telling her family as well. I broke up with him because, she's moving. She just doesn't want to air her dirty laundry out to her family and to everybody as far as what could be other reasons. I'm not saying that there are any. But it could be.
It could be. Sometimes, like you said last time, people don't want to tell, show their emotions sometimes. They don't want to admit that they're in a toxic relationship. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, you go look at people's, Instagrams, those that have been a part of some horrific stuff. You look at their social media. A lot of folks look very happy, and inside they're not. And those that portray that they're happiest usually aren't. And so, or could usually be not. And, that sometimes is a coping mechanism to get away from what potentially could be real there. Not saying that there is anything there, and that goes for anybody. It could have Maddie, any of those victims that were in that house.
No, yeah.
But we just hit the one hour and 15-minute mark. I want to thank everybody that was a part of the show, everybody that's been in the live chat, all of you guys that donated to the super chats and to our show. We appreciate every single one of you guys. Do you have any final thoughts, Jaime, before we jump on out of here?
I just want to say, man, happy holidays to everyone. I hope everybody has a safe New Year's, and we'll see you next year.
Well, no, I think we'll be coming back on before the end of this year. I think we have one maybe Wednesday.
Oh, yeah, right?
Yeah. We have 2 shows before.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I thought, what's today? Okay.
Today's the 26th.
I guess I'll see you in two more shows. We'll see you.
We'll see you in 2 days, y'all. Please hit that like and subscribe. Ring that notification bell. We sometimes throw out random episodes that aren't live. You don't want to miss it. Go check out our earlier content. We've done a breakdown on Vanessa Guillen. We've looked into the case with Madalena Korjakari, the missing girl in North Carolina, and we've also looked at the Casey Anthony case. If those things interest you, check out our playlist. Look under the mystery playlist, and you'll see all of our past shows. Please hit that button, ring that notification bell. Until next time, guys, peace.
Later, man.
Later.
Let's see how long it takes for us to get out alive.
I know, it might be a minute.
I find it took pills for that rash, you know.